Okay, guys, I'm here doing a. I said that the last video that Rose and I did together was going to be the last, but this will be the last. I'm responding to the comments and stuff that people did on the video about Alexander and me not being the father and so forth and so on. As I analyzed as I read the comments and so forth, even I, who has a very thick skin and kind of a cold heart and not real empathetic, was taken aback by some of these comments on how rude and disgusting they were, especially towards Rose. And it's just like, so let me take you back, and the common theme on these comments, these negative comments, there were good comments, people wishing us well and so forth, but the common theme on the negative comments all involve all track back to money and the fact that Rose was just using me for money. She didn't love me, she didn't care about me, it was just all for money. And so let me take you back into how our relationship developed. So anyways, we met in 2020 on May 29th we met. And that was during COVID. I had been over in the Philippines, prior to that, when they did the COVID lockdowns and stuff. And so we met and we talked and got to know one another and fell in love, as it were. Well, I couldn't come to the Philippines because the world was in lockdown. You couldn't travel anywhere. And Rose was, I think, she was 37 when I met her. And so, anyways, we talked and communicated. The only thing we could do was talk and communicate, over the internet. And through that, we were talking, and her house had to be. She had to replace the wood on the top part of her house because of the aspect. It was all rotten. The termites had eaten it, and that's what she was going to do. But me, I says, well, as long as you're doing that, why don't we upgrade it? Because of the fact that eventually I'm going to be able to come to the Philippines and live there, with you, type of thing. And I like a comfortable house. And the biggest thing I was concerned about back then was the typhoons, from everything I'd seen, because these typhoons were wiping out communities over here. I mean, just devastating and gone, hundreds and thousands of people killed by typhoons. And so I was scared that I didn't want anything to happen bad to Rose, because of the fact that the house was not strong enough to withstand a typhoon. And so when she was doing that, I says, well, let's upgrade that, because I'm going to be coming anyways. Let's upgrade it and make it concrete and stuff. I was concerned for her safety and her family's safety. Should a super typhoon hit. And so I'm the one that says, no, I want you to build it all in, redo it all in concrete, and then have a room of it where it has a concrete roof as well, so that she and her family would have a place to go to be safe, and weather out the storm, as it were. Because, all I was seeing on YouTube was all the devastation and death, and I didn't want that. For God's sake, I cared about her safety, and we had fallen in love, and so that's what I did. I made the decision about, well, yeah, let's do that, because it's COVID going on and lockdowns going, and so everything was a lot cheaper, to do at that time. That was my call. That yeah, and well, doing it now would be the best, because besides, who wants to be living in a place when you're doing major renovations on it, right? So have it done. And so Rose was the contractor, as it were, on the house. She's the one that bought all the materials, did the design and so forth, and it was her family that actually did the construction, and they did a great job. And she tried to surprise me with changing over the way the house was and adding a nice bathroom, to the bedroom, because the only bathroom she had was where they have just a toilet where you use a scoop and you use a faucet to fill up a bucket, and then use the bucket to take a bath with. And so, no, I wanted, the modern conveniences when I got there. And that's what she did. She did not ask for me to do that. And I think that cost me like $25,000 to do that, right? But that was my decision. She didn't ask for it. And so went along, and it got completed. It was done. I was still over in the U.S. because it was like 2 years, like I say, before they opened up the Philippines. And so people are saying, she's just using you for money. Well, when that was said and done, the house was done. If she was just using me for money, wouldn't she just go, well, maybe you and I don't get along too terribly good, and so this isn't going to work out. And so she would, that way she would, get the money from me to do that. No, that didn't happen. And so, it's like, if she was just using me for money, and wouldn't she just have left me at that time? It's like, oh, thank you for making everything nice and dandy. But no, that's not what happened. Life went along, and she was happy, and I was happy at the fact that she was safe in that house, that I was going to be living in as well, which I did when I got here. And so when I got here in what was that, February 2022, I believe. I got here. Yeah, I was living in the house, and it was nice. It was comfortable. Had hot shower, flushing toilets. She had a dirty kitchen. She had built a regular indoor kitchen for me, because she knew I liked to cook and stuff like that. And so it was all good. We're going along. And then we decided I decided to build a second house, which was originally intended for a place to stay when like family and friends came to visit. Well, that never happened, but you know, that's neither here nor there. And so we built it. Again, the same thing. It was I actually designed it when I was living in my little box. I actually designed it on a piece of paper with a homemade ruler, actually, and you know, took pictures of that and sent it to Rose. Well, here, this is what I want, kind of a thing. And so off she went with that same thing. It's like, this is a good time to build because of the power's back. I got to turn the fan back on. Excuse me. Started out at 3, let it get going, and then push it up to 6. You know, it's nice up here. But anyways, we built the house. It was like partially completed before it got all the way up to the point where the concrete was poured for the roof, because I wanted the same thing. I wanted safety in case anything happened, and also, you know, I way overbuilt it. I mean, you could use this rooftop here in this house as a bridge for a highway. It's got that much rebar and concrete. It's strong concrete too. It's not cheesy where you only put in X amount of concrete. So I overbuilt, and it cost me like $25,000 to build this house here. And so, you know, but I loved it up here, so I wanted to move up here instead of down in the other house, because it's cooler up here for whatever reason, and it has more of a breeze, and so we moved up here, and I've been living in the Philippines for over 3 years now. Now, guys, if Rose was after taking my money, wouldn't she have gotten rid of me at that time? Well, wait a minute, I've got 2 houses here now. Ooh, this is really nice. You know, why don't I get rid of this guy? You know, kick him away, because I don't own the land. Foreigners cannot own the land. They can own the building, but they can't own the land. So, you know, the person that owns which is Rose, you know, she already had the farm, so I didn't have to buy any land. I didn't have to screw around with that and trying to get the titles and all that kind of shit. You've seen bloggers out there that have had nothing but nightmares with buying land and trying to get the title and so forth. And they've been taken by contractors for, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $100,000, and I didn't have that happen to me. And everybody was saying, yeah, she's gonna kick you away now because of the fact of the Alexander thing. Well, let me look around here. Wait a minute. I think I'm still here in this house, right? And Rose, she's not going to kick me away. If she wanted to kick me away, she would have done it back a year ago, right? When she was having Alexander. And, you know, getting to that, some of the comments were to Rose, well, you should have broken up with him before cheating on him, you know, per se. Cheating on him instead of you guys breaking up afterwards. Well, wait a minute. I scratched my head on that one and go, well, is the pain of breaking up before that worse than after? It's the same thing. You break up and go about your way. And no, it's not it's not like that. Obviously, I was hurt and so forth when I found out. But in the same breath, I can understand. I'm not justifying anything. I'm not justifying my actions. I'm not justifying Rose's actions. But when you look at it in hindsight, I'm almost 25 years older than Rose, and we had gone between COVID and me not getting her pregnant for like over 2 years here, right? I mean, our thoughts between one another was we would have a child, God willing. Well, I mean, she was really hoping that she would get pregnant from me and have a child. Well, it didn't happen, and it looked pretty obvious that it never was gonna happen. And here she is, she's coming up to this point where women start going into menopause, and then they lose the ability to ever have a child. So, she made the decision to have a child with somebody else. She didn't really want that. It just kind of reached the point in life where it's like, if you don't, it's there's a good chance you're never going to have a child. Because I look at it this way, guys. I'm 66 years old now. I was 65 when I think when Rose got pregnant, and so I'm going to be 67 pretty soon. And I look at it that I probably have like another 10 years, right, before I have a toe tag on, right? Each and every one of us are going to end up with a toe tag on us. It's just a matter of when. So let's say that Rose just kept trying and trying, as long as she was with me, to have a child, and it didn't happen. Well, then that day comes where I've got a toe tag on me, and she's not pregnant. She's now, in her early 50s, no chance of having a child anymore. And so where is she at that point in time in life? She's sitting there, she's alone, doesn't have a man, she's in her 50s, where, guys generally try to find younger women. They're not interested in women that are older, type of thing. And then there she sits alone, type of thing. Like a lot of you guys are. You're sitting there alone, with nobody in your life, and and now she has, excuse me, and now she has Alexander, which is, it makes me happy that she has Alexander, even though he's not mine. He's a bundle of joy, and Rose is extremely happy. I'm happy for her. We don't have any animosity, between us. Our relationship has changed. I mean, it's gone from a romantic lovers type of relationship to just a good friendship. And like I say, I don't hold any animosity towards her. I probably would have done the same thing. And guess what? I'm no saint. I've cheated on women before. And I think a lot of you guys probably have too. And a lot of the extremely negative comments are coming from guys that I think have been completely screwed over by women, right? Yeah, they're married and this and that, and the woman goes off and not necessarily cheats, but they American women love to always keep their options open and looking for an upgrade, from their man, and they cheat too. I mean, think about it. The divorce rate in the U.S. is like over 50%, a little bit over 50%. So that means what? Half of the people are what? They get divorced, and the property that they have invested in, or if like the guy bought the house and paid for everything, and all of a sudden the woman gets half of it anyways, plus child support if they had kids together, type of thing. And so guys have extremely bitter attitudes towards women because of that kind of a thing. So so you guys saying that Rose is just using me for money to, she didn't love me, or she doesn't love me, or whatever, just for money. I beg to differ, because if that was the case, I wouldn't be here. I'd be somewhere else one night. She would have kicked me away, and I'd be gone. She would have done that, back when, at least when she got pregnant. And obviously, we had fights and disagreements when I found out that it wasn't mine, because it always hurts. It's like a punch in the face kind of a thing, and you get stunned. It's like, holy shit, right? But then, over time, you shake it off. Your head clears up, and you think it through. It's like, okay, what really is the situation? And it was stressing Rose out tremendously, right? With the fighting and so forth and so on. And it reached the point where one day I said to myself, hey, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Not as far as living here. What am I doing to Rose and the health of the child? Because stress, it is not good for anybody. I don't care who you are, if you're pregnant or not. Extremely bad if you're pregnant for the child. And so I went, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not that kind of man where I'm going to jeopardize the health of a woman that I love and an innocent child. What the hell kind of man would that make me? Shit. So no, I went to supporting her. I'm not talking about financially wise. I'm talking about emotionally wise, and making sure she was okay, and so forth. All the way through when she delivered, and she was really sick when we were fighting from the stress. But after I stopped, she got good and was healthy, and I told her, stop with all these drugs that the OB is subscribing to, folic acid and so forth and so on. Because I told her, I says, were any children ever born before they invented these drugs? and and so she stopped taking them, and lo and behold, she wasn't getting sick anymore because of the fact that shit is all just for money. It doesn't really do anything. Actually, I think it hurts the child. It doesn't help them develop. It's all about this, kind of a thing. And so anyway, she had a healthy birth of a Alexander, and he's a very very good baby, no doubt about it. He's cute, happy, just like Rose is. You know her, and anybody that's been following our channel for a while, that she's a happy, and she's a caring person. I mean, look at what she enjoys. I mean, she spent all of the time helping the community and the children at the school, right? Buying them supplies and backpacks, and then she built the sports complex or the basketball court. Thanks to YouTube supporters, that sent money to Rose. And let me tell you, she spent every penny plus on helping the children in the school, and she spent 100% of whatever we made on YouTube. I give it to her. I don't care about it. I don't need it. 100% of her YouTube salary went to it all, and all of the money, and plus, I mean, she would contribute more money to it, and I did as well. It just doesn't matter how much I contributed. So I'm gonna have a cigarette. Yossi, as it's called here. And that's another thing. You guys all bash me about the fact that, he's nothing but a drunk, chimney kind of a thing. No wonder he can't have children. How does Rose put up with that fucking drunkard? She didn't really love him, He's just a drunkard that she was using for his money. Again, back to the money thing. And so, I don't care you bash me. I could care less. It just rolls off of me like a duck. Like I say, I had cerebral palsy when I was a kid, and I'm used to being bullied. And I can fight back with a vengeance if I want to, but I just look at it and go, nah, you people are messed up. X amount of you anyways. There's a lot of good people on YouTube, but you've got that percentage that are over that do nothing but bash, right? Bash. Because I mean, they make comments on YouTube. They're keyboard warriors. Blah 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 blah. They would never have the balls or guts to say that shit to your face. No. Or say that shit to a group of people. These fucking 2 people are nothing but fucking scammers and this and that shit. They wouldn't have the balls to say that kind of shit. And so, that's why I take a lot. I take almost all of that with a grain of salt. It means nothing. They have their miserable little life. It's funny. People seem to only care, or guys, a lot of guys, the common denominator is money. Money, money, money. That you know, she doesn't love you, she's just taking your money and using your money. And so like I say, I paid like 25,000 for this house, probably 30,000 with all the furnishings and everything. Here, I've lived here for 3 years, and if I was in the U.S. and I had to rent a place, how much would that cost per month? All right, I think at a bare minimum on a dumpy place is going to be like about $500. But if you get the average place, it's closer to 1,000 nowadays for sure, and much more than that depending upon where you live. So let's see. Let's call it like $750 a month. So that'd be what, 8,400 a year times 3 years. 3 times 8 is 24. Guess what? I've got a house here for the same price that would have just gone into a landlord's pocket. And you know, that, or if I bought a house over in the States, you know, which would cost a fortune. Nobody in the States really owns their home. Most everybody has a mortgage on it, so it's the bank that owns it, the mortgage company. And on top of that, if you don't, let's say your house is paid for, guess what? You have your property taxes over there in the States, which are on the average house, you know, a minimum of like $2,000 a year. So let's see, how much is that per month? Kind of thing, just for property taxes. And go ahead and don't pay those property taxes for a few years and see who really owns your property. It's the government. So you know, it's funny, the property taxes over here on the entire farm, everything, the workshop, the 2 houses, the pig pen, I think it's $2.50 a year. Boy, that's expensive, type of thing. And I'm still here, so I'm at break even. I'm actually ahead of break even. The only expenses I have here are electric and internet. And electric is about $50 a month, $60 a month, and that includes all the refrigerators and everything up at the shop. And down here, because this house is on the shop electric meter. Rose's is on a different meter. But that and internet, which costs 1,000 pesos a month, which is like $18, and that's for unlimited high speed. It's out today, however. And so that's the expenses. Don't have to pay for any insurance because I mean, you can get it over here, I suppose, if you want it, but don't have a mortgage, so don't need it. And you know, it's all concrete anyway, so the chances of it burning down are pretty slim. Don't have insurance. I don't have car payments here. I own a motorcycle that's paid for, and that goes through very little gas, right? And it gets around. Actually, driving a motorcycle around is better than a car, because a car in the Philippines, the problem with it is it's hard to find a place to park when you go to the city or whatever. But I got the shop. I mean, I've got everything I want here. I've got my vices, I've got my beer, I've got my Yossi, I'm relaxed, it's peaceful here. And people say, go away and start a new life. Get away from Rose. And it's like, why? Is there some kind of problem that Rose is going to create for me? I mean, is she going to kick me away? No, she's giving me a 25-year lease on the property. So the family, let's say that unfortunately, Rose was to die, right, before me. That way, I mean, the family wouldn't be able to remove me from the property either. Not that they would, but it gives me that legal protection that, no, he's got a 25-year lease on this. So, and in 25 years, I will not be around. No, I'd be in my 90s. That's not going to happen because, And another thing that's funny is a lot of you guys bash me for, drinking and smoking and this and that and, on and on, you're gonna die young and this and that. Well, I'm 67, and guess what, guys? I haven't been to a doctor since I was in my 20s, like 26. That's the last time I went to a doctor for anything. And I'm perfectly healthy. I have no arthritis, I have no aches. I take no medications. I don't take any of that shit. And I'm fine. I'm fortunately, and unfortunately for a lot of you guys, a lot healthier. A lot of you subscribers, are having health issues. And, and I'm sorry to see that kind of a thing, but my only point is my vices are not causing any health issues to me. Will it maybe make my life a little bit shorter? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how long I would have lived, not enjoying my vices, as it were, type thing. But I enjoy life, plain and simple. Life is great, and I don't worry about money. Even if Rose was to kick me away, and have only been using me for money, I I don't support Rose financially wise. That's already taken care of. But even if she was to kick me away, I'd be able to restart my life. But to me, it's like, well, why bother restarting all the time? I already have this stuff and here, and it's like, why constantly restart? I mean, what difference would it make that I go somewhere else, to start my life with Brenda, which is she's a very nice woman, type of thing, and yeah, she wants to come here, and that's another thing. There were some comments about, well, Rose, set me up with Brenda, it's just a trap, and I was like, no, Rose didn't set me up with Brenda. I found her all on my own, kind of a thing. She's a good woman. She's a little bit closer to my age. I think she's going to be 47 this year, type thing. Does not have children. Says she doesn't want children because to her, even in her mind, she's thinking, she's too old to want to raise a child, type of thing. Because she'd be in her 60s, like 60, almost 70 by the time the child was raised, and so no, she doesn't want that, and she's her her and Rose have talked with one another because, she was worried, is Rose and my relationship as far as romantically, whatever, actually done? And so, yeah, they've talked to one another about, where it's at. And I don't know, they seem to get along fine. So, anyways, I'm not going to, this, like I say, this is the last video. I'm not going to expose Brenda to YouTube. No. It's too hard on a relationship because you can't, a guy cannot sit there and compete against all these guys that are, pouring in and going, oh, you're so beautiful, Randy's so lucky, and how do you put up with a drunkard like that, and so forth. How do you put up with an old man like that? Constantly plucking at their brain, kind of a thing. Who can picture you're a guy, right? And all of a sudden you have, hundreds of women coming at you. Oh, you're so handsome, you're so nice, you're so this, you're so that. Constantly. And the woman that you're with, obviously you have disagreements in life here and there. You're going to be thinking to yourself, hey, wait a minute. These women out here don't think that about me. So maybe it's the woman that's all fucked up. And I should go and check out that possibility. And so that's what happens, unfortunately, with social media. It's endless. And you people, not all of you. I'm not. The majority of you are good people. It's you ones that sit there and criticize circumstances in people's lives where I can see why people don't share anything that's really personal. I mean, there's millions of vloggers out there, right? And when you look at it, how many of them actually share real life in their relationship? Nah, they don't. They just talk about what the budget is and this and that. We went here, we went there, we did this, we did that. Nothing as far as the dramatics that occur in the relationship. The reason that Rose and I made this video, or that video, was because of the aspect that you guys are used to her and I being together, and I'm exiting YouTube. I told Rose, it's like, no, I'm not going to do. I never cared for her much, anyways. No, I'm not going to do YouTube anymore. That's done. I'm not going to expose Brenda to that. And I know that, many of you guys are going to keep going, where's Randy? Where's Randy? Where's Randy? Where's Honey Pie? Where's Randy? Kind of a thing. And it's just like, no, I'm not there. And so she's, so we had to tell you about this because it's just a matter of time. I mean, how long could Rose put up with that? She's gonna continue the channel. Oh, and that's another thing. A lot of you guys say that Rose took over the YouTube channel, right, from Randy, and is collecting the revenue from it. Well, the revenue she collects, she spends at the school and stuff, anyways, in the community. But anyways, no. When Rose, I initially started the YouTube channel when I was still over in the States, right? But when I got here into the Philippines, I tried uploading a couple of videos, but the internet that we had at the house down there was just horrible. It took like 3 days for a 15-minute video to upload, and I said, I'm gonna fuck around with this type of thing. So I just let it lay. Well, Rose came and says, well, let's try and wake up your channel. We had upgraded the internet type of thing. Let's try and wake up your channel, as she called it. And so I said, fine, go for it. And at that point in time, I think I had like 24 subscribers on the channel. And anyway, she woke it up and started doing videos. And believe it or not, guys, it only took her like 3 weeks to get to the 1,000 subscribers that you need and the 4,000 hours watch hours that you have to have on YouTube in order to get monetized. 3 weeks. Can you believe that? Obviously, that had nothing to do with me, kind of a thing. And so, yeah, you guys, you like, seeing beautiful women. You like seeing where foreigners are, what kind of women they're able to have over here. And Filipino women, they actually protect their men. You rarely will you see a Filipino ever badmouth their man. No. Even though they may not like something that they're doing, they're not going to sit there and badmouth their man and go down and yak with their friends and their family. No, they keep it to themselves. Like, no, that's nobody's business. And so it's, I don't know. I'm getting confused on what I have told you and what I haven't. But in the end of it all, guys, many of you should not maybe think about coming to the Philippines, especially if you're a person that all you care about is money and being taken by a woman, for money. Oh, she's just using him for money. She doesn't love him. Well, guys, in a relationship, that's what guys do. They provide for their woman, and their woman, takes care of the man. Cooks, cleans, does laundry, makes love to them and affection. I understand the women in the U.S. are not that way anymore. They are, I never mind. I won't even go into it. You know what they're like. But Filipino women are not that way. And so if all you care about is your money and your bank account, and that's the most important thing to you in the world, and I have a suggestion for you. You can follow it or not, but maybe something that you look at, think about. You take take some money from your bank account, whatever it is, and you obviously you're interested in protecting your money and have it invested in your portfolio or whatever. Well, take and go and get some cash, right? And take it, get a big bundle of cash, because of the fact that you like cash. You like a nice bank account. Take and get it, bring it home, take it and spread it, fluff it out on top of your bed. Oops, banged over the beer. And spread it out nice and fluffy over the bed, and then you lay down and you make love to that cash and hug that cash and have that cash hug you back. All right, and make love to you back, because of the fact that that's the most important thing. Oh, I love you, cash. Instead of, I guess you'd have to use the expression, I love you, honey, cash. Oh, I will protect you. And you will take care of me. So, enjoy that. And then in the morning, when you wake up, you can gather up the cash and bring it into the kitchen. Bring it into the kitchen and sit down and have your breakfast. That I don't know. I don't think the cash made it for you, right? you probably had to, pay somebody to make it, or you make it yourself, right? And you sit down and you eat your buttered toast and coffee and some apricot nectar, or whatever. That's what my grandma used to have every morning was 2 pieces of buttered toast, coffee, and apricot nectar. That's way back when I was a kid. But anyways, you have that, and you sit down with your cash, your honey cash, and hold a conversation with her and say, "Oh, honey cash, oh, I love you so much. I love you. You're the most precious thing in the world, and I know you love me." Right? Oh, yeah. And then when you're done with breakfast, you take and you gather your honey cash back up, that no woman got from you. They didn't scam you for this money. They didn't, you're smart enough not to get scammed or bother to spend anything on a woman, because all they want is money, right? And you take and you gather it up, and then I will keep you safe, honey cash. I will put you in the vault. I will put you in the safe so that you're safe when I go to work and get more cash, right? So you put the cash in the safe, lock it up secure, so you're giving your cash security in life. So it's happy about that you give it security. And then, at the end of the day, you come home and you open the door and you say, "Honey cash, I'm home," right? And honey cash doesn't respond. Oh, well, I have to go and get her out of the safe where she was safe, type thing. And you take her out of the safe, and you go, "Oh, honey cash, I missed you so much. What did you make for dinner?" type of thing. And honey cash didn't make anything for dinner. So I guess you have to give some honey cash to like a pizza delivery or something like that, right? Oh no. So that means you don't care about honey cash because you're giving her away. And the moral of the story is what is the moral of the story? You can love your cash and worry about nothing but getting a bigger and bigger portfolio or savings account or wherever you have your money invested. you know, whether you know, in houses, real estates, or whatever. But when that day comes, you know, I hope you're happy with that in life, and that brings you pleasure, and so forth and so on. But when that day comes, which it will to each and every one of us, that you end up with that toe tag on you, that what's going to happen to that cash? It's just going to be given to everybody else. And meanwhile, you were so worried about having that cash, you know, that no woman scammed it out of you. Oh my God. Or the chance of her scamming it out of me, that you don't find love. You can't recognize love because you're too fucking worried about your cash. Oh, I gotta have the cash. Here we are. Here we are, guys. Guess what? I could give this to a woman and not care less. It's like, this means nothing to me. But having the love and affection of a woman means the world. I'm happy in life. Rose is happy in life. And we enjoy everything. Yes, our relationship is changed, you know, because of Alexander. And but I hold no resentment to Rose whatsoever. She's never screwed me the F over, ever, you know, kind of a thing. And so you guys can sit there and think that all you want, and like I say, worry about keeping your cash in your bank account or portfolio, and you know, make love to it, like I say, spread it out on the bed, and you can always, you know, redeposit it after you make love to it and cuddle it, type of thing, and just enjoy your life, you know. I would only ask one thing of you guys to maybe do, and that will only take a minute of your life, right? You spend way more than that surfing the internet looking for pretty women to chat with, type of thing. But you're going to make sure that she doesn't get any cash out of you. And that reminds me, like the $1,500 that I paid off on Rose's loans and stuff. How many dates is that in the U.S.? Maybe 5 or 6, right? Christ, you can't even go on a date for like under $200 or $300. Not a date that's worth a shit. So, anyways, the one favor, and it's not for me. It's more for you to potentially see how you look at life and how you're reacting in life. Go and stand in the front of the mirror for 60 seconds and stare at yourself and ask yourself, what kind of a man am I? What do I care about? What's important? And what makes me happy? And what do I do to make somebody else's life better? You know, type of thing. And then, after you stare at that mirror for the minute, take and pick up a stone and throw it at the mirror and break it. You know, let he, without sin, cast the first stone. And so it's disappointing how much you judge Rose. And so anyways, cheers, guys. It's been fun. This is the last video that I will ever do on this channel. I don't know, I might pop in, you know, once a year or something with an update of where I'm at. I'm just happy to have Brenda in my life, and to have Rose as a good friend, and to have her family. They're all good people, and the community, they're all good people, and I'm extremely happy, and Rose is extremely happy, and just live life, guys, before that toe tag is on you, because that's the ultimate thing, right? We're here. You can only live today. Yesterday was a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. Today is all the cash you have. So, with that, guys, later. Ouch.